welcome back. We are here for Hissing Darkness, a trophy gold incursion, and this particular series is called In the Wake of Secrets. So, this is episode 2. I would like to just reintroduce the incursion as our characters are on a ship full of darkness, woken up early from their journey to a more habitable place because the ship seems to be warped by darkness with a capital D. And the way Trophy Gold works is that it goes through different sets through the ship, and their particular set goal at the moment is find a way out of cold sleep. So just going to ask our players to reintroduce their characters and what they specifically remember from last time. You know, besides the bad dice rolls, because there was a lot of bad dice rolls. I'm going to start from the left, going to the right. So, Dom, please reintroduce us to Quixote.
Hello, something Quixote, who's basically just this unhinged little guy that's just going around trying to feed their hero complex, most likely to the detriment of everyone else. Last session, I remembered we left off with Quixote and Paul dispatching two conduits in a room, but not without both of them getting hit in the process and losing their armor. So Quixote is pretty much a little bit defenseless right now. So hopefully combat is going to go very well for the rest of the session.
We'll see. Okay.
Hopefully.
All right. Hopefully. Jazy, please reintroduce us to Somni.
Yeah, Somni, they are the tech slash engineer of the ship, um, who have some history with their sibling who disappeared into this ship. We're not sure what's happened there, but she has caught glimpses of her sibling, of her sister. Um, so she's sort of that's on her mind, and perhaps more importantly, well, I mean, every time she tried to do something, it backfired greatly. But I think perhaps more importantly, where we left her off, she tried to hide from like all these pale figures that were stepping out from the darkness. And in her panic, she locked herself in like a maintenance shaft, maintenance hallway, whatever we want to call it. Um, and we have established that while her trick helped, there are now lights in the hallway. She's also trapped there, and there is another person right there as well.
Right.
And I think Drom's next, right, on the list.
Yes.
Okay. So Drom is, I mean, has been described as a weird little guy, but is actually quite a tall, looming, weird guy. They have bionic eyes and a rebreather and wear a sort of jumpsuit and seem to be overly interested in the darkness and have actively sought it out and told it not to consume them yet. And last heard, Drom had responded to a call to find something out in the darkness and had gone wandering off on his own and had got a 4 on a hunt roll and found a thing.
And last but not least, Paul. Mike, tell us about Paul.
Hi, I'm Mike, he, him, and I am playing Paul, also he, him. Paul is, when I created this character, I was not expecting him to be the most normal character of this bunch, but he apparently is. Paul is, he's like he looks like a pretty normal guy. It's kind of like, average height, average build. It's got, like kind of brown hair, brown eyes. He's got he's got a regularly like pretty flat expression on his face most of the time. Seems to be pretty unperturbable, even when facing down like animated conduits that are trying to strangle him, or these like weird humanoid creatures that step out of the void. He seems to react. He seems to have like no fear. Like he just seems to react, but with like very little fear, and that's because he is secretly an android. Paul is, he's dressed in the jumpsuit slash uniform of a science officer aboard this ship, and he says he is a cosmologist. Last episode, after dealing with these animated conduits, he attempted to get like blueprints, download information out of the ship's strange and only partially functioning computer system. Figured out which corridor would probably lead to the rest of the ship. Although the corridor had no lights, and so he was using a handheld echolocator to try to like find his way out there. But apparently these like weird humanoid void people don't show up on an echolocator because they just kind of popped up out of nowhere. And that's where we are, still trying to find a way out of the cryosleep section.
So, as a reminder, pardon. As a reminder that the set goal is pretty much given to you as a way to get out of the particular set, and you can do that by performing hunt rolls to see if you can, get more information to help you discover a way out according to the particular set goal. Or once you amass 3 hunt tokens amongst you all, you could pool them and then basically resolve the set goal just by handing in the 3 hunt tokens. Okay? It doesn't have to come from any one player. If like as long as the group agrees to pool the 3 tokens, then you automatically resolve the set. So we don't know if the rolls are going to be as weird as last time. I don't know. Maybe the darkness encroached upon you quicker than I thought. Okay. So
3
anybody
hunt rolls, it's impossible. Impossible.
Well,
Cannot be done.
like right now it looks like there's 2 hunt tokens on possible, but I mean only if the players decide that they want to pool them. It's fine. It's all good. Because the other part of being in a trophy gold game is that the characters have burdens from their equipment and from their just their background and such. And so to be able to come out of the whole incursion, intact and ready to go again, they have to meet their burdens. And the way they meet their burdens is by gold. So in this particular sci-fi based game, it's like the equipment or the things that they find will have gold value, but not necessarily gold, right? So, I mean, as they collect and amass equipment through hunt tokens, then they can, again, meet their burdens, but also, again, amass these hunt tokens to try and get out of the sets. So, we'll see how this goes. Okay.
I just clarify, because it might have just misunderstood last time. So in order to meet our burdens, we need to get gold, and we need to get enough gold to meet our burdens by the end of a set or by the end of the whole incursion.
End of the whole incursion.
Okay, so we
You basically can't leave the incursion, like the incursion in totality, unless you meet your burdens, because otherwise then your characters will, I mean, in this one I'd have to figure out how to parlay that, but in core trophy gold, your players would be your characters would be forcibly retired because of crushing debt. because you didn't meet your burdens. So, I mean, Trophy Gold's supposed to be the desperate version of Trophy Dark, but this is playing a lot like Trophy Dark at the moment. So,
Yeah, okay, so we could technically leave this set without meeting our burdens and just hope that other sets. Okay.
Oh yeah,
just-
exactly.
okay.
There's six sets in this in total, so there's a pretty good likelihood you could meet the burdens. But yeah, I mean, like last time was just wow with the die rolls. That's all I gotta say. Mike, you were saying something?
Oh, I was just going to say that. Yeah,
You sound hollow. I'm not sure what's going on with your sound.
that's because my mic boom was up because I'm still eating breakfast. What was I going to say? What was I going to say? Oh, the other thing is with hunt tokens, with gold we can pull them to solve a set, but we need 3 total. And so far, most of our hunt rolls have not gone so well. So we only have 2 hunt tokens among us. And the other thing you can do is you can trade in a hunt token at any time for a piece of treasure that's worth 1 gold.
That's true too. So.
But we haven't found very many hunt tokens, so
yeah.
Right now, survival seems to be of a higher importance than trying to find treasure.
Exactly.
Survival has importance, but we only like took 2 steps out of the starting village.
We're getting there. We're getting there. It's okay. Like, you know, just hope. That's all. Okay. Just dealing. Hold on. All right. I'm gonna say, like, you know, to start, I'm gonna ask. I don't mean to do this, but because you slid into the darkness, with no source of light, it's like, you know, you spend too long in the darkness and you must roll a dark die. So I'm gonna ask Drom, please roll a ruin, please.
Yeah, we'll do that now. 1 sec.
Okay.
It's my friend. I got a 2.
Okay. Alrighty. So it does not go up because it is not less than 2, so you're fine. How do you keep it together in the darkness?
Gleefully and with great trepidation and excitement.
Okay. Very cool. Let's go to Somni. Somni, you found yourself in that corridor vent thing, and like there were excuse me, dim lights that had flicked on, but then you found yourself with someone there. I'm gonna say that the lights were flickering on and then, like, you know, went completely white, because I think that's how one of the outcomes had happened. Like, you know, you were at least able to affect some kind of change and kind of create like an EMP, but for these darkness creatures, at least for temporarily. And then, like, as your vision cleared, I think, what does your sibling look like?
I think she looks a lot like Somni, but she doesn't have the exoskeleton, and she has more like a I think she was a security guard. So she has, you know, like whatever uniform they would be wearing, pants with lots of pockets, lots of, you know, like a utility belt, the combat boots, black hair, like tied, I think like chopped very short. So, you know, like the helmet and everything go over it very fast, very easy. And I think she has like a very, like, not prominent necessarily, but she has like a scar like high up on the cheekbone that, despite whatever, you know, high tech healing equipment we have, like never quite healed correctly. or like the skin graft, was like just slightly different color. Because they weren't, rich enough to get the correct skin graft tint.
You think it's your sibling for a second, but it looks like someone who is similar, of similar build, of similar look, but it is not. And they see your exoskeleton and they're automatically backing away. What are you? How'd I get here? I'm not supposed to be awake yet. I'm gonna go. Don't come after me. No, don't come after me. And then, like you see them backing away, and it's almost like camera stills as the lights start to dim and flicker out. Like you see them look fearful at you, back away, and then in the deep darkness beyond, they fall back in, and then you can hear steps of them running away once they reach the dark.
Yeah, I think we just see like Somni kind of like pressed against a panel, like wide eyes. This person was talking. Despite perhaps like the scary looking arms she's sticking out, like she does not look like a threat. She looks like a scared child. And then like as the person backs away, like she kind of just sits there, like she's afraid to even disturb the light or the molecules around her for fear of awakening something. And then when the steps fade, the arms, like she's still eyes focused on that person, but the arms like kind of shift and prod at the panel, but realize that it's locked. And like this look of, oh shit, comes over her because there's only one way out. And that's after that person.
I think, Quixote, do you think you hear the banging of the panel from Somni's arms?
I think possibly, but Quixote was just knocked onto their back after the confrontation with the void humans with Paul in the this room. So Quixote is going to, his attention is going to be more towards Paul and just making sure that he is also all right.
How are you, Paul?
Need to step out of character just to remember how that last thing went. If I remember correctly, we were going to try to fight them, but they ended up like going back into the darkness, and we never actually fought them.
Yeah, I believe like Somni, like what Somni did in that back panel.
That's right. That's right. Somni like illuminated, like brought up some lights, and they recoiled from the light. Right. I was just looking at the dice roller, and I realized, oh, I rolled a weak point, but we never had a combat roll.
No, we did, didn't we? Like Somni used the light to like weaken them. We fought them,
right.
But as always, we were in sync. We got the same weak point, and we rolled two at the same weak point. So we had to both use an armor to avoid damage, but we did manage to dispatch both of.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I'd forgotten about that. Okay, cool. So I think Paul is. I think again he's got this like almost impassive look on his face now and like he's like looking into the, he's like looking into the direction where these like strange creatures went to, with this like coolly curious look on his face, and then he looks around and realizes that it's only Quixote that's with him, that Somni's not here and Drom's not here. And Quixote, did you see where our other two companions went off to?
Well, I'm not sure where they went. I deem Somni went after corridor, I presume, and I do believe I saw the Drom just ran off into the darkness. It seemed like he had everything under control, so I just let him be.
I think you do hear the panel, the banging on the panel nearby from
I'm
where
going to head over.
Somni last stood. Yep.
Okay, I'm going to head over to that. I'm going to head over to the panel where I hear the banging. I bang back and say, Somni, is that you in there?
One bang.
Okay, I guess I'm going to try to figure out how to open this panel.
Okay.
So I'm going to like look over. So I'm going to like look over the. I'm going to look over the. Yeah, I'm just going to look over the panel to see if there's any like access, like there's an access pad, or if it's just a simple mechanical latch, or if there's some kind of electronic lock on it. I want to try to like figure out how this thing works and try to open it.
Okay. I mean, I'm not gonna, have you
Say
strain
it's like
yourself for this.
I was
Yeah,
gonna say, is that going to be a hunt roll, or is it just going to work, or?
it's just going to work. I mean, like, I'd only call for a hunt roll if you're um seriously trying to figure out how to get, out of the cold sleep. But
Okay.
like, you see that, like, somehow one of the parts of the framing had gotten like knocked out askew, so it was blocking the panel from being able to be opened. So
Okay.
you can clear that easily.
Okay, I'll clear that and open up the panel.
I think whilst Paul is doing that,
Mhm.
Kyoto is going to be looking around the room, seeing if they can spot, like perhaps a quick way that will lead them out of the sleeping pod area.
Okay, cool. That would require a hunt roll for sure. Somni, it's
Yeah.
like, do you think you tumble back into into Paul, like when he opens up the hatch?
Yeah, I imagine, like maintenance shafts, they're built to be like fairly small and not take a lot of up a space. So she can't really like turn around in it.
Mm-mm.
So yeah, I think we kind of see like the arms, they're like so that she kind of does like this weird backflip almost. Like the arms like catch her and her body just kind of like goes like tumbling over it. Um in well-trained people, this could look very elegant. In Somni, it just looks adequate. But she will turn to Paul and says, there was someone there. Someone like us, I mean, who woke up.
Interesting. Um, is that person still in there?
They ran off, but these maintenance shafts, I mean, they'll open up again in the hallways.
Well, perhaps we'll meet up with them again. I think it's most important that we attempt to get to the rest of the ship.
All right. I did get the blueprints, and I like sort of, hologram. We get like the blue image as I show them to Paul.
So,
Uh,
I mean, another piece of the puzzle basically, and then it's kind of like, but you can see that there are either has it like breaks in the schematic as if the signal's interrupted, or maybe that's just parts of the ship that aren't what they originally were anymore because of the warping. So
So I guess based on the schematic that somebody is showing us, Paul looks around and accesses his own data that he pulled earlier and makes his best guess as to which way to go. And so combining these two pieces of information, I think he's going to look around. Is there like another computer? Are there any other like computer access
Oh.
panels here?
There's plenty of computer access panels. You can totally, see
So
about trying to use them. Yeah.
Paul's going to attempt to use one of the other computer access panels to attempt to pull up more information, like, maybe get, I don't know, security cam feeds or something like that, in order to try to piece together like the bits of data that we've already collected to try to put them all together to figure out how the hell to get out of here.
Okay. All right. So Quixote and Paul, you're doing a hunt roll to basically in different ways try to figure out a way out of the cold sleep warrens. Drom, you're
Yes.
still in the dark. I don't know how you want to.
I guess it depends what the something terrible is that I found is.
Okay. Give me a second. Ooh. All right. I think. Oh, I get to roll. Hold on a second. Very, very, very.
Ooh, the
What's the word?
GM. Yeah, the only time the GM rolls in Trophy Gold is when you have to consult a table.
Yep. So this should be fun.
You got a nice gnarly OSR table to roll for us, Mads.
Yeah, it's cool. I'm like, well, I mean, I'm not usually one for tables, but hey, um,
Nothing wrong with a good OSR D66 table.
no. Okay. So, I think as you're sinking into the dark, but you don't fall prey to it. You've already heard the darkness whisper to you and saying, "Find me." But I think as you're here, trying to orient yourself and trying to see if you can find a different way out. Maybe you're actually sinking into it in your communication. I think you'll, even though you're keeping it together, your body may not. I think you're starting to feel your skin within crawl. And you realize it's crawling because there are words underneath it, and those words are speaking to you. Take the condition whispering flesh.
I think Drom is actually kind of thrilled and pulls back their slaves and says, "Yes, the signs they manifest." And he's going to basically sit down, and I'm going to crack out my portable altar to the dark and attempt to
Nice.
commune and find more guidance about how I can bring my friends to that which is hidden within the dark.
So another way of finding your way out. I love it. Oh my gosh. Okay, so, ooh, all right. Well, several different roles. Let's try to take them one at a time because I have to figure out how to like interweave all this stuff together. Okay, so Quixote, do your role first in your hunt for your hunt roll. What specifically are you using for skills or through your occupation or background that will help you with this?
Now, Quixote has discovered as one of their skills, but I think in this case I'm actually going to use athletics because
Oh, okay.
Quixote isn't going to look around like corridors. Like Quixote's eyes are more put upwards, like looking all the possible vents,
Mhm.
and is going to use the athletics to basically just jump around to all the way up to the vents and see if there's anything if the vents lead possibly to a whole other area because it should be a pretty straightforward shoot.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that brings you to two hunt die because you're asking questions about the world, you're going to explore it, and you do have the athletic skill to help you. So 2 light die on the hunt roll, please. We'll see how that goes.
I got a token. A 1 and a 6.
Nice. All right, a light 6. Excellent. Grab yourself a token. But I want to, just for funsies, let's see how this goes. So remember, you can pool 3 hunt tokens among you and then be able to just resolve the set goal. But let me ask: do Pole and Drom, do you want to continue on with your actions for hunt and risk?
I'd like to acquire some more tokens, but then once we do, I'm perfectly happy to spend one of mine on resolving the set or solving it.
Okay.
I was going to say the same thing. I want to continue on my hunt roll. From a metagame perspective, I want to continue on. I want to make the hunt roll, but yes, I think at this point, assuming once we have 3 tokens, I think it's time to pool them and just move on.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
I will say that I would have withheld my token if Drom or Paul wouldn't have gone with their hunter because they want to see what they find.
Sure. No, absolutely. But I'm going to say that you, as you're doing the jumps to the different vent accesses that you're looking at, I think you're able to create a decent picture for yourself about where certain things lead. I mean, you're not going very far, but I mean, you're able to see how they're connecting and how, 1 or 2 of them are able to leave. If that's the access you want to take, they will be able to help you leave the cold sleep warrants for sure. So that's the answer to your question. Okay. And again, you can trade in that token for any kind of treasure, at any point, But again, if you want to wait and see if you can pool them to get out of the set, perfectly fine too. All right, Pole, go ahead and do your hunt. You're asking questions about the world. You're going to access this terminal, and then in its condition, I mean, let's see what you find. Skills.
I am.
Or
I mean,
equipment.
yeah, Paul is Paul is couching himself as a scientist, and perhaps he was one at one time, but his occupation is cosmologist, and since his experiences in cryosleep, his positronic brain has been expanded, and his understanding is perhaps a little beyond science. So he is in his in his his attempting to use this data terminal to access information, it's almost an act of reverence of the machine gods. So I'm going to use my skill machine gods.
Perfect. Okay. So two die on the hunt roll, please.
I also get a token.
Okay.
I got 6.
Light 6 again. All right, great. Okay. So I think are you patching into the
central computer if I can?
Okay. I mean, you're getting the reading that it is connecting to other parts of the ship, but it'll only describe them in very general senses, right? So if you had the incursion, you'd be able to see the little map. It kind of gives you little areas that it's looking at, like the underhull or the maze. That's what it's called for some reason. And then the engine is further out. So you're able to see this map for certain here. And you're able to also, from your position, also get an inkling of how it ties into Somni's schematic that she showed you. Okay. So, awesome.
Excellent.
Okay. And Drom, you're going to commune to get further in, but for a different purpose, perhaps, than your companions.
I think cinematically, Drom's found like a branch between the cryopods where the paths go off in 4 directions, and he's sitting in the middle, surrounded by little candles that he's lit, and a sort of altar covered in sort of fragments of void verses, and he's got his sort of shirt open and his arm sleeves pulled up, and you can see the tattoos glowing and writhing on his pallid skin as he attempts to look for a sign from the darkness.
Now, are we
Um,
calling this a risk roll, or are we like, you're really trying to
I,
do a
I
hunt?
think I'm hunting because I'm not trying to talk to the darkness. I'm trying to gain something, like learn something. So that would
Sure.
be my rationale.
Okay. Well, you are
Um,
asking questions like, of the world. So
yeah.
you're
What
exploring it in that sense, and then you're also using your like all your equipment and your ritual and such to
I'll
do it.
tell you
So
what. So that it's clearly a question, I will say, tell me, oh ship, where must my friends go now?
ah, nice. I like that. Okay. Yeah, so two on the hunt roll, please.
That's a 5. A 5. That's my high dice.
You get a token though. Encountering something terrible. All right,
I,
great.
I want I want something terrible. Bring it on.
Okay. Oh man. So, let's see. Sorry, trying to scroll through this PDF. All right. I think where must your friends go next? Okay. Your whispering flesh, as the tattoos glow, will answer you. They must come in with you to the dock. They must come in and join us. Bring them to the dock. Bring them to us. And I think as you are hearing these things and possibly reveling in them, I can just imagine this like cinematically as the camera pans up from your body and hearing and the seeing of the glow into your beatific face. I think we are seeing out of the darkness, we are seeing these gray hands with blue veins coming out from the darkness behind you alongside your face and then grabbing at your head and your body and your arms. So, do you make a sound? Do you make any indication where you are?
I think it's sort of I think it comes back with Drom turning up back near where Somni and Paul etc. are, and with and saying, the darkness has spoken to me, friends, and the way shall be made clear for us as we venture to the heart of the engine.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to say that you even drop because the hands have taken you, absorbed you into the darkness, and then you drop like one of those things into a patch of darkness near Somni, Pole, and Quixote.
Is
And
that
he
my
says that,
complication that they see me like being ejected out of the dark?
oh man, chat is great. Ooh, I want to change one of your conditions. Instead of find me, you have found. Okay. So anyway, at this point, I'm going to ask everybody, pooling all the information together, even the weird ones, even the weird information. I can say that you do get enough information to be able to make your way out of the ship. out of the cold sleep warrens, either by the, oh well, no, actually, as a combination of the venting leading you out into the regular hallways that haven't been completely warped by the darkness. Okay.
Got it. So yeah, I am indeed going to like offer one of my hunt tokens into a pool.
Okay.
I'll add my creepy weird guy knowledge of the dark as a token into the pool as well.
Okay.
And I'll add mine, so we
Okay.
can just use the help of the events to get out.
Okay. All right. So bring your hunt down your hunt tokens down by one, and then you have resolved the set for getting out of cold sleep. I want to hear a narration of how you are transitioning out, what it looks like, and what you're thinking of as you leave the cold sleep warrens and the flickering light, dim as it is, and the broken pods that you see in your wake, and maybe some of the flickering screens of some of the repaired consoles as you leave.
I think Quixote is going to leave the area to the vents. They're going to really stop and they're like gestures to Paul and Somni. If they wanna like go to the vents with them, and if they don't, they just go by themselves after the vents until they reach the next area. And after like just exploring through the vents, they're kind of just jiggling with excitement as they think back to what has transpired recently. They got into the sleep area. They faced a conduit to void humans. Yes, Curtis' armor was destroyed in the process of the fight, but they believe they're on the right track towards the engine, towards like saving the people and like what other potential villains and beasts they might face that they will vanquish in their own like vanquish that will go down into their own heroic story how they saved the ship.
I think Drom knows that they're going the right way as they follow Quixote because every now and again there's a smashed, like a broken pod with a kind of desiccated body in it, and they're all in different rictuses of and every now and again there's one with jet black eyes with almost like a smile on the sort of desiccated face, and those ones are pointing.
And as Paul continues down these strange, warped corridors, he's got that like wrist computer and like bringing up the, bringing up the sort of like the holographic like map of what the ship is supposed to look like, superimposed with the information that Somni had pulled up, which was more of like what the ship is actually like. But there are gaps between the two of them. And, and he's, as he goes through, he sees how, like there's supposed to be a corridor here, but it's, there's like large amounts of, large amounts of uh, like twisted bulkheads, and like large cables are like kind of like almost twisted and braided around. It almost looks, almost has like everything is made of metal and plastic, but it almost has an organic look to it. And every once in a while, he notices that as we pass some of these like small like video screens, as we As we approach them, they're like, they're glowing kind of blue. But he's noticed several times that as we pass them, the glow turns from blue to like this odd green, kind of indicating that it knows where we are and whatever it is knows where we are and it's kind of tracking us.
I think Somni at Quixote's indication like went to follow them and then saw Drom following them and immediately like skittered off in the other direction. And I think she's sort of like trailing behind Paul as they wind these corridors, and it's almost like giving this visual of a scared, shy child like hiding behind the father's pants leg, kind of peeking out to see who's talking to them. And as we approach these strange lights, she glances at a few of them. And in that kind of, when you look at a bright light and it leaves that image behind your eyelids, it leaves that after image. She sees again those words: reunion, rebirth, remake.
And so you leave the Cold Sleep Warrens and enter the maze. The maze, however you had left the Warrens, you will find that the twistiness, the cramped conditions, the strange lights, it's almost as if they will, as I said, lead you into itself here in the maze. The corridors have a lean to them. They're not completely straight. And the vents themselves don't necessarily take a straight path. They feel bent and angled in such a way to almost turn into a slide in some places if you're not careful. And in this dark, if you have not brought a consistent light source, in the flickering source, you will see something that is misshapen. You will feel something in the darkness that has the wrong texture. And you will all eventually come out to the same place in the maze, whether by vent or by corridor, and you will find yourselves together facing kind of crossroads where there are multiple entrances into further branchings of corridors. You almost couldn't call it a ship anymore. It's almost like you're in a cave system because the walls are not straight, even though they are still made of metal and plastic when you bang on them. What do? You feel as if there's something breathing in here, whether it be the ship or something else. Through these corridors, you can feel breezes that don't feel like natural coolant systems. You feel heat and hunger and the hallways closing in.
Paul doesn't like the fact that this strange maze of twisty corridors does not have consistent lighting. So he opens up his satchel and like looks through the various oddball bits of equipment that he's carrying around, and he pulls out an electric headlamp, and turns it on and straps it to his head and turns it on. So I'm going to mark that on my if I can can find it. Where is headlamp? Huh. That's weird. They're in reverse alphabetical order. Okay, yeah, I found headlamp. So I'm going to put that in. I'm going to pull that out of my backpack and put that on. I'm using a slot on my backpack equipment, and is now hopefully able to get a little better look around now that we have some of our own light. And from here, he's just going to try to like look around at the like try to get a sense of like where these where these corridors are. And you said that there's like there's like uh the air is moving in odd directions. If I'm going to try to figure out where the like if the air is like coming from a particular direction, we probably want to go there if it's coming from some central place.
I
So
will
I'm trying to
say well, depending on how sensitive your skin is, Paul, I think that you get a blast of coolant that feels like hot breath breathing down the back of your neck.
That's disconcerting.
Question.
Yes.
You said that there are crossroads. How many different ways are there actually?
So again, because I said that it's not a straight line for a lot of these corridors that you are now in, you can see them kind of doing like a weird twist and bend that makes them feel like almost zigzaggy. And you can see branching off from those particular corridors, like other corridors that lead possibly into each other or elsewhere.
Yeah, so we now we see a couple of different corridors going in like in different directions.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What is going to like just like look at the various corridors. It's going to just like put a finger up, point in just a random direction at the corridors, and say, we should head thither, and it's going to just move in a direction.
What light source are you using, Quixote? The light that's coming from Pole's headlamp is so very fragile.
There is like light in the corridors, however faint, correct? Or
No,
is it just complete
natural.
darkness?
No, complete darkness. Like you're only able to see because of like stuff that you've brought. So
Okay.
yeah, if we can establish like what light sources you all have, that would be great. And again, you can add to your backpack equipment if you still have the extra 3 spaces.
Okay. For light source, I think I'm going to take the LED spheres.
Okay.
So Kyoto is just going to like take the LED sphere. I imagine that perhaps it's like one of those spheres that you can like hold in your hand and just have it reduce light. You could potentially just stick it onto something. But Kyoto is just going to like hold one of these spheres in their hand, and it's just going to march towards a random direction that it pointed.
I think you realize, or I should say you notice, that the steel walls of the particular corridor that you're looking down look like they're covered in some kind of slick condensation. Almost like sweat.
Kyoto is just going to keep moving ahead, just looking around themselves, what they do, so to see if they can like potentially like find anything of interest as they're doing so.
Somni, what light source are you using?
I have a flashlight in my equipment, so I think like sort of pinned to her shoulder. This flashlight like clicks on automatically, and she's crouched down, um, sort of using pole almost as like a barrier between her and Drum and the other thing and the corridors. And she's crouched down and she has like picked up various, I think, like implements from the maintenance shafts and such that we have passed. And I believe that we are like the grand goal here is to look for the engine, correct? Or like as far as we know right now.
As far as you know right now, I have not labeled the set goal because I want to hear about everybody's light source before I tell you.
Oh yeah, I'm not like necessarily talking about the set goal. I'm like in the grand scheme of our whole thing. Yeah.
Sure.
So like what Somni would know right now. And I think she's like putting together like several small drones that pick up like energy signals, and she wants to like basically like send them out, and then an alarm or like a signal will go off, whichever one is picking up that engine, heat signal, energy signal, whichever.
Funny to presume that the engineering schematics still match what you remember from before you went into cryosleep.
She's got to do something.
She's got to do something. And Drom. I mean, I know you lit candles for your ritual, but I mean, like, do you have any other light sources that you are carrying around with you?
For aesthetic effect, Drum has like augmented eyes.
Nice.
As well as a rebreather, and you can see Drum's eyes like clicking and turning as they look around in the dark, and you can hear them going.
Think you can hear, as you're looking around, you can. So let me describe these corridors just a little further. So again, they have twists and bends to them. They're not straight, and definitely the floor is not flat. But you also notice along the walls, like, wherever you train your particular light source, you can also see that there are mesh gratings, like openings that conceivably you could move through as well. You don't have to be in the generic corridors, but they're in very strange spots, like with no regularity of interval, right? I mean, like, they could be like, two like right next to each other, and then like nothing until like, further down, or they're in a corner rather than actually in the ceiling or on the wall. It is almost as if what has happened here in this place has twisted your perception of these hallways, to put it lightly. But I'm going to say that you start to hear something, all of you, as you look around and try to get your bearings. There's a reverberating echo of something. Maybe all of the voices on and in Drom start to create a chorus in response to it. But there is an echo of something like breathing, like panting, as if something is on the chase. You cannot tell how far or how close it is. And so your set goal out of the maze is to escape the hunter and survive.
Can we make my drones then perhaps a hunt roll, in that they're programmed to pick up like an energy signal? I did not necessarily say that's like the signal from like one particular thing, and maybe this hunter is like giving off something that sets these things off.
Okay. And how do sorry, how does Somni do that?
So as I said, she has like sort of taken these parts from the ship, from the maintenance shafts, from the equipment that she took with her, and she's just like kind of improvising, building these little bots, like these
Uh-huh.
little drones that she's sending out in the different directions, and they're kind of like alarm signals essentially. Like
Okay.
they're going out and spreading out a perimeter, and they're going to pick up a signal and set up some kind of signal if they pick up anything.
Cool. All right. So hunt roll, please. 2 die.
Okay, let's do this. We can do this. Hunt. Okay, okay. A 5. I get a token. It's something.
Mm-hmm. Okay. But encounter something terrible. Fabulous. Before I give uh Somni the something terrible, does anybody else want to do a hunt roll?
Yeah, I think Quixote was going to do a hunt as they're just like walking down a corridor. They're just like looking around and seeing if they can like spot anything.
Okay.
So, so I guess in this case, the most applicable skill would be discovery. They're trying to see if
Yes.
they can discover anything of note in this weird maze structure.
Okay. Cool. And then you're asking a question, like what specific question are you asking about this?
I guess the specific question would be what seems to be like perhaps like where are these corridors uh, going?
Okay. 2 die on the hunt roll, please.
I got a 3.
Encounter something terrible. Well, wouldn't be anything if it wasn't for encountering something terrible. Sure. Anybody else before I'd bring on the fun?
Drom has an idea of they're using the grimoire to. I might do my ritual again to try and scare. I can't really hunt, but I might
Oh,
try and use my ritual to scare the hunter away by basically doing the opposite of communing with it, trying to like scare it off by reading from my book.
okay.
I did. I'm just going to interject. I do want to do a hunt roll,
Okay.
but if we want to resolve drums first, that's cool.
Okay.
Or we can
Feel
do
like
mine.
mine might be better as a reaction. So I think what I'll do is step back and then see
Mm-hmm.
how it goes with the complications, and then I would do that.
Oh, absolutely. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, so go ahead.
So Paul, so Paul has, so Paul pulled out this like headlamp, that's that's kind of like more complex than just a simple headlamp. It's like this whole headset apparatus that has does have like an ear cover, so that's so he's got like an earpiece for communications. He also then pulls down an eyepiece over his right eye and like hits a button which activates it, and there's a couple of like red LEDs, and then when the camera shifts so that we see through and we're seeing like Paul's actual perspective, that lens is showing up like a little heads up display that's showing various bits of data like relative temperatures, and it's like superimposing information. So he's using this to try to figure out like what this presence here is, and if there's any if he can like detect from whatever EM radiation that's beyond the that's outside the range of what humans can normally perceive via this piece of technology. Um, he's going to try to like figure out like where this thing is, where it's coming, and if he can, and hopefully react accordingly. And for this, I am using my piece of equipment, my Data Sphere augmented reality lens.
2 on the hunt roll, please.
I got a 5.
Don't give me something terrible. Oh boy. Okay, great.
I mean,
Okay.
you only don't find something terrible on a hunt roll unless you roll a 6.
True. Alrighty. So Somni. Let's see. When you send out your hacked drones to be able to create a perimeter, do you have the readout coming up on your console, or is it something that uh, it doesn't show you until they come back and project it for you? What do you think?
I think she probably like we've established that we have like some kind of glove, like built-in little computer. So I think she's like sort of monitoring them like on that to keep an eye out of that perimeter that she's created.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I'm going to say that when it when they when it projects, I think you're going to see the schematic of the triangulated hallways that you're looking at, and you will be able to see, and anybody else that's looking at your console will be able to see what looks like bodies, half in and half out of some of these vents. And they seem to still be giving off an energy signature of some sort.
Yeah, I think we see in the pale light of that computer, like the pale blue light, like Somni's eyes are wide, um, reflecting like the the figures, the bodies on it. But I think with trembling hands, she is going to lead one of them closer to see if she can inspect it further.
Mm-hmm.
If only to see if one very particular body isn't there.
When you get a closer look, and I'm saying this as just before I go to Quixote, I think you see that some of these bodies almost look like they are melding into the walls, as if the darkness within the walls have liquefied them and claimed them into its own. And so the sweat, the condensation is their sweat, and some of the surface of the walls is their skin. Quixote, your LED spheres, are you sticking them on the wall, or you're just using them to shine light in the event that you're in?
Just using them to shine the veils. They're just walking down the corridor.
You see the walls of the particular corridor that you're in start to bulge. Semi-regular rhythm, as if it's breathing. And then maybe as you are making your way down, maybe there's a sudden bulge that kind of bumps you into the opposite side. And then that side will bulge and bump you into the opposite side again. And then you will see that the passage starts to shift and start to bring itself in on you. As if it's trying to crush you. You can see a way out ahead of you, but it's starting to look like the walls are starting to try and reclaim you, just as the corpses that Somni found.
And I guess I'll have to. Can I act now, or do you have to wait until we get to what Paul sees?
Let me see what Paul's doing. Let's see.
Okay.
Yeah. Radiation, trying to see what you find. Is that what you're trying to do,
Yeah,
Paul?
I was using my augmented reality lens to basically get various readings of like EM stuff, like electromagnetic radiation, like temperature gradients, um, like like motion, like all that kind of like all the kind of stuff that when we were looking through, like when we see, like in the Terminator, when we see the Terminator's heads-up display, that's the kind of stuff that this AR lens is showing Paul.
Right. Okay. Um, you don't. Well, I should say, you do see like energy signatures, of course, from your companions. Even Drom, who has a different thermal signature, even than anyone else. But yeah, you do recognize them, and I think as you're seeing these readouts, I think you're also seeing the energy signatures warp a bit, and they start turning into symbols that you may recognize from maybe. Did you ever get a look at inside Drom's book?
I don't think I've looked in Drum's book, no.
Have you ever
But
seen
I
anything
may have
beyond his suit, their suit?
I may have would I have seen Drum's altar at some point?
Possibly, maybe when he thought you weren't looking.
Yeah, I think I think the sigils show up in the energy signature. They're glowing in and on the corridors. And I think you hear the as you're doing this, I think you're hearing like the like vent fans droning on, and you hear what sounds like underneath the whirring of fans or the hum of fans. I think you're hearing some kind of beat, almost like a heartbeat in this. But yeah, I mean, Somni's
So it
seeing
almost
like, yeah, go
so it
ahead.
almost feels like it's feeling like this whole place is somehow weirdly alive.
Yeah, so
Perhaps the
mhm.
perhaps it is the apotheosis of the machine gods.
I think Drum will say, "We are not for it to eat. Let us pass, you hungry, raging beast."
Are you challenging the hunter?
Yeah, yeah, I'm cracking out the grimoire, and I'm gonna use my ritual to basically try and get it to like, because this is almost like an immune response, isn't it, to our presence? So I'm gonna basically try and let it make it let us through.
Oh boy. Okay. Um. Hmm. It's not out and out combat yet. Give me a second.
To do it as a ritual, I suppose, it's just as oh, well, I have a good idea. Maybe I could use my Aphelion ritual to create a void in hyperlocalized space-time that it fills with perfect darkness. That's a bit like a sort of platelet that we can sort of ride behind that will push its way through and
Oh my gosh.
scare off anything in the way.
Oh my gosh. Amazing.
Oh my God, I love that.
So are we talking risk roll then, right?
Yeah, I basically want to make a void-like mass that is going to move ahead of us through the tunnel and like warp it back into shape or scare off the hunter so that we can sort of chase after it, basically. My book says it should work.
We'll find out. Okay, great. Let's build this roll then. Give me a second. Oh my gosh. Okay. So what do we think will go wrong in Drom using the Aphelion?
I mean, I think one of the obvious things is it has the opposite effect in that it really annoys the hunter and it draws it to us to directly challenge us. And that this would basically like go straight into a combat roll.
I think another could go wrong is that instead of creating these hyperlocalized time space where the Drom wants it, he ends up creating it on himself.
Oh no. Oh boy. Okay.
That would be bad.
Yeah. All right. Let's go on to gathering die. So, yeah, dark die definitely because of the ritual. Light die if something you're skilled at because of your occupation or background. I'm pretty damn sure.
For all four of my skills. Rituals,
Absolutely.
darkness,
God.
symbols, and alteration.
Oh my god. But you can only take the one light die, as we
Yeah.
well know. Okay.
I
So
just really, really deserve that light die.
I know. So good. Okay. Let's increase your odds of success by adding a devil's bargain if you choose to take one. So everybody, devil's
Can I
bargains no
have
matter what.
a tiny recap of what exactly the role is about? Because I stepped away for a second.
Oh, this is Drom trying to use Aphelion, their ritual, to create like a void space that will essentially like clear the path, basically, and like find a way through to like out of the maze, or at least to survive it better. That's why I say success with quotes.
Right.
Right. And so
I mean,
yeah.
obvious devil's bargain, something steps out of the void. No matter what, something is going to use that open door to come here.
Yeah, my devil's bargain was going to be pretty similar. Like what, no matter what. Yeah, I was going to say something like no matter what, something follows us through.
I think those are awesome. I mean, like they're the same one, but I mean, basically the idea that yeah, something emerges.
Yeah, something emerges.
Yeah.
We don't know whether it's as good or as bad as the hunter, though. However,
I'll offer you another one just if you want choice. I think no matter what, at least for some time, opening this like asks so much of you or seems like the wrong choice, and the darkness will refuse to talk to you. You will shutter that connection by opening this.
You know what? I'm gonna take both of them. I know I only get one die, but I like both of those, and I don't see why I shouldn't take both of them, so I'm going to.
oh damn.
Yeah.
Ah. I mean, I'm just gonna throw this in there just to remind us that your condition, like another condition, is darkness is silent. Okay, if you're gonna choose to take both, oh my god. So, 2 light, 1 dark, please on a risk roll.
Let's go for it. It's just so that I know that this hubristic act is gonna backfire on me. Oh no, that's not too bad. I do get a 5 dark, but I got a 5, so
Okay.
that means my ruin goes up. But it's a
It works.
Is it
5.
hard? Oh shit. Well, maybe this is just heralding the, oh god. Okay. So yeah, given the things that have happened, that are happening no matter what, I can't wait to narrate this too. Tell me how your, if the darkness is silent, how is that making you fall deeper into the darkness doing this?
I think that to me, the Aphelion, as it sort of pulses forward through the corridors and we sort of run after it, it looks at me like, sorry, I've been watching Three Body Problem, but it looks to me like an eye, like a disapproving, glaring eye. And I don't hear any whispers. I simply see the something looking back at me through the portal, and it does not approve. Like it's like a hole in a wall, and there's an eye looking through it, but it's like an eye between dimensions, a hole between dimensions.
Is that the darkness staring back at you and being like, betrayal, or is that the something that will be coming through in a minute once I deal with
I have no idea, but it's not talking to me. It's simply staring at me like in a way that Drom does not much care for.
right. Oh man. Okay. So, Quixote, tell me, you are feeling the crush. You are seeing your hand like reaching through further into the corridor, but then you can see the hallway start to press in on you as well.
Right, so Quixote is going to try and like get to the other side. It doesn't seem like the walls are coming down onto them. So this would be a risk though, in this case, right?
Yes.
Right,
What do
okay,
you?
so
Yeah. What do we think can go wrong here?
okay, so for skills, you're going to use their flexibility to just kind of like maneuver around the tightening corridor.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you're just going to use their ritual of necrotize to try and corrode and like just break down the walls as they're also coming like down on them to
Nice.
give themselves more room to maneuver.
Okay. Pardon. So, what do we think can go wrong as Quixote is trying to get out and necrotize this thing? The hallways, I should say. They're trying to crush him.
I think he catches some of himself in his own ritual.
Ooh.
That could go wrong.
I have a version of that that's more of a devil's bargain, so I'll save mine for that. But like,
Okay.
it's sort of a derivative of that.
I'll kind of do the opposite. I think like as you're trying to like necrotize them, something alive is going to basically be like a parasite of some sort is basically going to be like, this is my only way to survive, and it will latch on to you. So you're going to like catch, carry, whatever we want to call it, something alive. I think that could go wrong. That's also kind of a devil's bargain. I'm very
Yeah,
bad
yeah.
at this.
I know. I mean, I'd rather go straight to the devil's bargains. Isn't that terrible? Um, okay. Since we've established that you've got the light die, you've got the dark die. So let's offer the devil's bargains now because we love that part.
Since I see that we have a interest on body horror, I think that my version of it is that no matter what, you touch one of the walls and your skin liquefies and comes away from your bones and stays there.
Yeah, I think I'll just offer what I said as a devil's bargain. Like whatever, no matter what, some part of this wall is going to live on in you, or some part of this entity or parasites or whatever is here is going to live on in you.
I don't have anything better than those.
Oh my gosh. Do you want to take it? Either one?
Yeah, I want to take the parasite one. Like that just, and what Quixote is going to end up having like some sort of parasite just like latch onto them.
Okay. All right. So 2 light, 1 dark, please.
Damn it. I got a 6 on the dark.
Oh,
But I got more than the
Works
light.
perfectly, but
it's right. Works perfectly. But tell me
Okay.
how you fall deeper into the dark as your ruin goes up. Yeah.
I think how this manifests deeper into the dark, this reminds Quixote about their past and how at some, let's just explain a bit the past, they probably like felt it down into, I want to say like a stash compacted, and in the process they ended up losing that arm because it does have like a cybernetic arm. So uh, in that time Quixote lost that arm, and this and the walls like crashing down onto them just remind them of that time that they were thrown into this compacted and just lost the arm, and they think to themselves that they're going to potentially lose the arm again, or maybe even something more.
I think as you're using your necrotizing to corrode the wall, you hear inside your head, you hear like what sounds like a squeal and a scream, as if what you're doing is hurting whatever's doing this to you. And part of the wall, like, you see your arm reaching out and like it was trying to mess with you and like, crush you. You see part of the wall like almost tear away from the wall itself and then wrap itself around your cybernetic arm as it's grafting itself on you. And you see it pulse. You see it breathe. And you see it start to meld there, like it's getting comfortable. And I think obviously the walls have corroded and like will come away, but you still hear that squealing and screaming in your head for a little bit as it releases you. Somni, I think,
So it's a parasite a condition now.
yes. Hold on. Let me give that. Breathing flesh. And then with Somni, I think as you're looking at these bodies and just making sure that it isn't your sibling, but you can't tell because it's like, it's not identifiable parts that you can see. Like it's not faces, it's maybe the lower half wearing different uniforms. Maybe it's a hand, maybe it's a foot. But what you do see in one of the more intact bodies, like it's more of like the lower half, you see there's a bulge in it. And as you come closer with your light source, your triangulation, The signature is stronger here. Do you look?
Yeah, I think she'll send a bot, the drone, closer to have more of a look.
It will create this schematic in slow, like how like an old dot matrix print will kind of like, go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. You see it moving in live time as it's creating itself. And it's pulsing. It looks like some kind of sac within the folds of this partially reclaimed person. And it looks like a sack of moving eggs. And we're going to take our first break. So, back at the top of the hour, and refresh your beverages, like, get over a little body horror, and yeah, we'll come back at the top of the hour. So, see you then. Somni, so what are you thinking looking at this reading of this pulsing egg sac within this bulge of the corpse?
I think her immediate reaction is she wants to learn what it is and how to stop it from birthing. Like, if she can kill it now, if she can make sure that it doesn't become a threat, she's going to do that because that shouldn't be here. And whatever it is, she doesn't want it on the ship. So she's going to try and like figure out more about it. And then I think she's going to try and like, does it seem like it's going to like birth soon, or is it just like incubating there?
They're pulsing? You can't tell. You don't know like what its incubation period is. You just know
Yeah,
it's
then I
there.
think she's going to try and sort of from this distance, like the engineer that she is, she's going to try and get more information on the thing. And also,
Mhm.
since we were talking about gold, can I have a look? Because there's a bunch of people here.
Oh
They
yeah.
might still have stuff on them.
Oh sure. No,
I want to see
absolutely.
what they have.
Okay, so hunt roll for sure. Let's see. You're asking questions about the world. We're kind of that's questions about the eggs, and then what skill, background, occupation are you applying for this?
I think tech and improvisation, either of those make sense to
Perfect.
me.
Perfect. Okay, so 2 on the hunt roll, please.
Absolutely. Okay. A 5, 2
Grab a
5s.
token. Encountering something terrible. Oh, boy. Okay. Okay. I think. And you said you're doing it from a distance? Are you using
Yeah,
your,
I'm using like the drone and I'm like,
Oh, okay.
kind of reprogramming it as I see this, all of this. Um, I assume this is like a very high-tech future where I can do
Oh,
weird stuff
absolutely.
like that.
Oh, for sure, for sure. So I mean, like, I think like, I think all of your little drones are like hovering around this belly bulge of the corpse, and they're getting better what's the word? 4D pictures of it. And you can again see it in your hologram. You can see it. They're not writhing like, terribly. They're just pulsing, and you can see almost circuitry within the eggs in the sac. You can't tell what kind of substance is making up the membrane that's keeping the eggs together, but I mean, like, you can definitely see circuitry in your in your hologram of the egg sac, and I think they're pulsing in time with the breathing or the heartbeat or whatever sensory whatever you think that you are hearing or feeling. If you are
Mhm.
feeling the breezes, you're feeling them as breath. If you are hearing the beats, you are hearing them as heartbeats. And these eggs are in time with those.
I think she'll just go, um, Paul, you might want to see this, and I'll like angle like like it goes up on a screen,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll show Paul. And if I can, I'll magnetize my drones and see if I don't know, some cool equipment maybe gets
Sure.
snatched up.
Absolutely. So I'm thinking that as you are like having them do this and they magnetize, you are able to pull something metallic from the corpse that you're examining. Um, Take a piece of backpack equipment that makes sense that you don't already have and add it to your found equipment that you can trade later for the gold. Okay? For sure. But yeah, that's pretty fucking terrible.
Yeah.
Quixote or
So I think
Paul, what are you doing?
I think in response, so he's also looking at the images that Somni is sending, and with this just like and we I think the camera is showing like his like Paul's face illuminated by the blue glow of the screen, and he just has this impassive look, and as he's looking at it, and he just says, "Fascinating."
Not creepy at
That
all.
could be this could be extremely in this could be extremely important information. You definitely save this recording.
Hey, do you think we should kill it?
I am of the opinion that we should I'm of the opinion that we should observe it and see what happens.
Somni does not look very happy with that answer, but she will not attack it.
Quixote, what are you doing as as you feel the walls recede and you have this now stowaway?
Kyoto is going to just continue down the path they were originally going, looking at the other like new companion and just squealing with excitement as to basically going to remind it of it basically just start attacking to the parasite, but how in a lot of like heroic stories they have like the hero who ends up making like a deal or like has this ancient force like trapped inside them, and over the course of the story they make friends with this dark force, and uh, and Quixote is like just like now really excited that they themselves might now like have like this type of story like after the day over time befriended this parasite and just use the past to get like to help save the day. And Quixote is going to just like name this parasite Sancho.
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 Okay. Oh my.
But so what they're doing, making it further into the corridor. What does Quixote see now?
Hmm. Go ahead and do another.
Another hunt?
Yes, please.
Okay, I think in this case, seeing how the words just came in at them, I think Quixote is going to also try using the like unnoticed skills to just move about swiftly and quietly around the area just to not encroach any potentially dangerous thing onto them, seeing how the walls themselves have kind of an enemy.
So, excuse me. So specifically, you're doing what with Sancho? Sorry.
So specifically, now that they get out of the corridor into like potentially another room in this maze,
Okay.
I'm using the unnoticed skill to just because the walls are seemingly attacked. So
Okay.
now because it is a bit on the not on the paranoid, but a bit on the lookout. Like if the walls are going to attack me, then I should move about carefully not to enrage anything else in this place.
Okay.
And I think they're just looking for the way out of the maze. So they're looking for like actually no actually no, because there is a hunter and they have to escape the hunter, but Quixote is going to like fight the hunter if he actually shows up. They're going to look around at the area and see if they can like find anything else that could be used in the fight against this hunter.
Okay. Cool. And you're saying unnoticed to do this search, and then you're asking questions about the world. Okay. So two on the hunt roll, please.
I got 5.
Okay. You get a token, but something terrible. Oh boy. Terrible. Okay. Let's see. I've already figured out what I wanted to do for the something terrible. I think that when you make it through your corridor and then you're trying to figure out what can be done against this particular hunter, you realize that it's just a matter of trying to fight against the dark again. Because the things that look normal are the things that maybe there was light sources trained upon them at one point. But for whatever reason, it's like they're no longer there. So you can tell that going down these particular corridors, it's like the ones that still look like corridors and not like anything else. Those are the things that had solid light sources on them at one point. Like you see lights that may be looking askew, but they had been trained on that particular spot once upon a time. But I'm going to say that as you're looking around and seeing this, I think you almost fall down a chute in this particular hallway as it opens up under your feet into this, again, I'll call it a chute, but it's big enough to be a silo on its own, and it has different exits and entryways leading off across this expanse, and down below them, so you can't just make it like a straight leap, because why would it be that easy? You see what looks like ventilator fans that are buzzing. Some of them are still, but then you hear a sharp buzzing, and then they will turn on very suddenly, basically ready to blend anything that falls on them. And there's no rhyme or reason for them turning on or off. So.
Yeah, okay. I imagine that Quixote is now probably like a fairly distance away from everyone. So in order to like, get their attention, Quixote is just going to use the whistle that they have in the equipment, and just going to whistle as hard as they can to get the attention of the rest of the party.
Okay. Fair.
I'm sure this won't invite any trouble at all.
This will not invite any trouble whatsoever. Absolutely not. So, Drom, before I invite trouble onto the rest of the group, is there anything that you want to do after having looked into the eye of something like, highly disapproving and probably very dark?
I think Drum is investigating the sort of weeping surfaces of the corridors,
Hmm.
and I think I might collect some of the sweat. And my goal is, if I reach Ruin 6, I'm going to drink it and see what happens.
Oh my gosh. Hmm.
But I basically just want to, like, yeah, gather some of the sacred, like as if it were a pilgrim, like a holy well or something.
Sure, sure. Um, yeah, if you are scraping this off, I think you'll see it as a very viscous material. Like you try to put your finger against it, or maybe you have an implement to scrape it into a vial or whatever.
I'll make a vial as one of my backpack equipments, so that I have something available, or like a
Sure.
container or something.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, like you literally have to. It's not as flowing as water or blood. It's just very, very thick. It has texture almost for some of it. So yeah, you can totally gather that and throw it into your found equipment if you want. And I think at this God, these chats. I think at this instance, after all of you are doing what you do, and especially soon after Pol says we should observe this, after Somni says, should we kill it? I think all of you are going to hear. Oh, I should say, hold on. Okay, so in order of things, Somni says, should we kill it? Pol says, we should observe it. And then you hear a whistle down a hallway as Drom is collecting the fluid. After that, you all are brought to your knees with a screech echoing through the hallways. And it's not just a screech that is heard in your ears that brings your hands to your you know to your oral senses, but also you feel them in your bones, as if the scream is underlined by claws dragging across metal.
I shan't be outdone, and Quixote is just going to blow the vessel out of it.
I think Drom, sorry, not Drom, Quixote, I think you get the metallic tang of iron in your mouth as you do that. Do you go back to your companions, or are you just standing there waiting to draw whatever it is out?
Well, the screech to Quixote was more like a challenge because he blew the vessel, then the screech came. So in their mind, it was like it was a challenge. So Quixote just going to simply just gonna stay in the air and just like blow the vessel even louder than before.
Hmm. The rest of you hear that second whistle blow. What do?
I think when the original shriek crit came, did the egg sag react? I think she, like as Paul said, like she was still observing it.
Mm-hmm.
Did that do anything?
It's almost as if the egg sacs surged towards their membrane, right? So I mean, maybe just picture the membrane with these little machine-like eggs inside, and they're just kind of beating and pulsing and everything. But then at the screech, it's almost like they've all kind of surged as if they want to move outside of the membrane.
Okay. Somni, sort of in a panic to make sure that whatever was screeching isn't going to come to them. And with this weird reaction, they almost seem like eggs. They seem like children. And no matter how alien something is, you always want to protect the children. So all these drones are going to swarm around the exec and they're going to start heating. Like not explode just yet, but like a very clear threat. Like you want to fix this first because this is going to kill the children.
And I think after Somni had sent Paul that video, I think Paul is heading over to Somni's direction to also like take a look at this himself, because he is, after all, a scientist.
Yeah, but I think your uh, reader, your data sphere, is also seeing that Somni's LED things are heating up the eggs.
Okay. So I think as I'm heading over, I will I'll say over the comm link, Somni, you might want to put some distance between you and those eggs. I don't know what's going to happen, but there seems to be some kind of reaction between between those drones and what they're and between the drones and these strange egg things. You might not want to be standing right there when whatever is going to happen is going to happen. But I will still continue to move in Somni's direction.
Yeah, I think, yeah, she was like already kind of doing this from a distance, but yeah, she will like skitter even further away and kind of like hide behind a panel or a console or something.
And I think as Paul like comes to a juncture and he's looking left and right and up and down to try to figure out which direction Somni is in, he looks down and he sees something interesting on the ground that he picks up. I'm going to trade in a hunt token for a piece of treasure.
Oh, sure. Okay. Give me a second. Treasure.
So do that soon.
So I still need to meet my burdens, and I don't have any goal. I don't have anything
Same.
of value yet.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, if you want to take this time to start trading in hunt tokens and such, because I was also going to make the suggestion.
yeah.
Like, anybody want to pull anything to resolve the set? Because
If everyone else is spending their tokens, I'm totally going to spend mine as well.
Sure. Stalling for gold. Absolutely. Okay. So, for poll, since you mentioned it first, you find another piece of you stumble over some more of these half mummified corpses. Like maybe there's a not to put a fine point on it, but essentially a torso with a utility belt on it, and then you manage to grab something from a full pocket. So take a piece of backpack equipment that you don't already have from the list, and then add that to your found equipment.
Okay, and that would be worth a gold if I were to trade
Worth
it
a
in
gold.
later.
If you were going to
Okay.
trade it in later, correct? Yes.
Cool.
But just in case you're gonna need it for later, then you can always, whatever. It's fine. And then Somni, you're doing the same.
Yeah, let's say like as I'm sort of I imagine, like this is a ship, so we have, reinforced doors at certain parts. And I think like as I go to hide somewhere there, like maybe I find some kind of tag or whatever, like something I can use.
Yes. I think you find some, what's the word? Moldable scrap metal. Like as you're hiding, you realize that some of the things that, again, are still look like the ship and not the ship with capital S. You can fashion them into like a rudimentary cutting weapon or use it as a tool, but you can also use it as raw material for a fabricator. So if you need to, create something, then you can definitely use it as part of that. So scrap metal can be in your found equipment. Okay.
Okay.
Who else is trading in for treasure?
Yeah, Drom will as well.
Okay. See, okay, so Drom's a special case, right? do want to give a particular thing to Drom. However, it is really valuable, but it also will totally ruin you. I guarantee it.
I love
Only
it. Please,
I
please.
I can't. No, I can't. Because you're only trading in one hunt token, yeah.
Now that you've told me that, I will save up my pocket money. How many tokens do I need?
It's worth 4.
Oh no, no.
But it's like after we talked like earlier about like things that you can find or whatever, then this can be found in a particular place, and I think it would be very appropriate for Drom to find it, but he's got to find the place.
Uh, this is sort of a weird improvisation, but could so basically, Drom's got his little knife out, and he's looks up as if he's looking through the hole to the eye, and says,
Oh,
"It seems that we must prove that we are not food." And I'm gonna go like try and find my way back to Somni, but maybe I could do a hunt roll to just like see if I can find the thing.
okay. Please do. I mean, I'm not even gonna ask you about your skills because you got them. And this specific thing that you're trying to do is find something to prove that you're not food, yeah?
Yeah, I think so. Otherwise, yeah, I'll just there's something we can use to defend ourselves against
Mm,
the predator, the
sure.
hunter.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Then this definitely falls into place for sure. So go ahead and go ahead and brain. Um, two die for the hunt roll.
Yeah, I think my only actual case, to be honest, for the second die is darkness, like moving through the bowels of the ship with confidence. But
Hmm. Yeah.
if that sounds okay.
Oh, that sounds fine.
I got a 4, so a token and something terrible.
Okay. All right. Oh man. Okay. Oh God.
Lay it on me.
All
Sorry. No.
right. Okay. Now I'm gonna ask. I'm sorry. This is a very surreal and very specific circumstance. So I apologize for kind of like you know bringing drama into the spotlight. However, the thing you find as you're finding a way to kind of be passed over by the hunter, you're getting your answer in a very specific way. You make your way through a section of corridors through the dark, and you see what looks like a small shrine. It is covered in these sigils of the symbols in your books, and they are in like glowing, vision stinging like neon lights of some sort, like they're like the sickly blues and greens and whatever, and it's just stinging your vision even with your augmented sight. And then highlighting this shrine is like faintly flickering LED paneling. And if you are willing to give token for this, then what you find in the Dark Things shrine is a techno talisman. You know that this will allow you to pass the hunter, and I don't know how we want to deal with this because this will push you into six ruin. Because then you have to increase your ruin by 1 and take the condition Dark Choir. Drink the goo.
I am gonna do I'm gonna do what my co-players and friends have instructed me to do. In the chat, everyone is saying I should drink the goo. So as Drom kneels before the altar, like in a prone position, he looks up and says, I accept your blessing with this libation. And drinks, and like has a little like hole in the rebreather for drinking, and
Mhm.
drinks the go.
Oh my gosh. Ah. Well, you take the final condition, Dark Choir, and increase into 6. Ah, tell me how you are lost to the darkness that has caused you, your flesh. It is no longer whispering. You hear. Found, 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 found. Come to us. And it's like, it's very choral, it's very harmonic, it's very, like bursting your consciousness as well as beyond consciousness. Tell us how you are lost to the darkness.
In the eye appears above the shrine, and Drum just climbs through the hole, the aperture, and you see, like as if it's like a porthole or something, and just disappears into the hole.
I want to say that when this happens, I feel like you three, like maybe if you're, experiencing the screech still, and like you hear the whistle of Quixote's whistle, I think you will also see, like maybe in the patches of dark that are near you, I think you will see what looks like the glow of Drom's eyes. For a short second, but you saw it. And the Dark Thing's shrine gleams on. Yeah. I think we're gonna have to leave off there for today. Oh crap!
Wow.
Oh wow! Ouch! We lost
our
one. Oh my
first
god!
character.
Oh. Holy crap! Doodle doo.
In chat, James wrote, "I played Trophy Dark. I win."
Oh my god! All right, so, okay. Stars and
guess-
wishes.
Now the only question is, how do we loot Drom now?
Oh yeah.
I mean,
that
he just got
shrine's still
4
there, right?
gold.
Yeah, that shrine's still there, right?
The shrine's
Yeah.
still
Right.
there. The talisman's still there.
I can take some more ruin. That's fine. It's all cool.
Oh my god.
I'm only at ruin 3.
Right? Me too.
And I'm
we
and
can go.
I'm already following the machine gods.
Yeah, right? Oh my god. Who will fall next to the darkness? Oh my god, you guys, you're great. Holy shit. Okay, so I can go last or I can go first. I don't care. This is amazing. Whew.
Yeah, I can go. Stars, I mean, obviously, James for playing Trophy Dark instead of Gold. I think, yeah, this just makes like a lot of sense. And it almost honestly feels like the good ending for Drom. Like this kind of feels like what like what they wanted, like I think they would have been a lot less happy if they had made it out. It was kind of like waiting, like it was building up, and I think it kind of makes a lot of sense, like how they went. For Dom, for Quixote, I loved the squeezing hallways, and the enthusiasm for having the parasite on you. That was really cool. I liked that a lot, and I just like this like gung ho, no thoughts, just go character that you're playing, who like so badly wants to be the hero that they like fully forget that being a hero is about protecting other people and not about fighting necessarily. I think like its namesake, like their namesake, they just got the spirit, but completely the wrong idea. And I kind of like that. For Mike, yeah, I think we really saw like a creepier side of Paul this session. Like I really liked like that kind of stoic reaction to absolutely horrifying stuff and like, oh no, we should observe it and we should like manipulate it and see what it does, like all of that. I like this kind of like how Somni has like latched onto Paul as like you're the only normal person here, and like you're also a bit creepy, but you're sort of all I have. So I'm just going to like sort of snatch onto you. And I think like that's an interesting dynamic where Paul um is like a much like not that he doesn't care for Somni, but it seems like much more like, oh, you're just a person who's also here, and Somni is sort of like, you have to save me. You have to do this for me. You have to tell me what to do. You have to like make all these big choices. Um, which is also sort of a wish. Very interested to see like where that dynamic goes. If that's going to like grow further now that we've lost someone and somebody's probably going to be even more scared. If Paul like how Paul is going to react to this young kid kind of latching onto them. Um, More wishes. Yeah, I can't wait to see Drom maybe come back in like not as a character, but like as a lingering thing. I think that could be interesting if we're going to like find hints of Drom's faith. I would love some more um moments maybe for interactions between the characters because we were all like very much off doing our own thing. And I think we've kind of like set it up. We have like the action, we have the set pieces. So like some more time to learn about the characters, I think is something that I'd like a lot. And some action because this was like a more lingering session, sort of the build up to this monster, this thing. So yeah, I can't wait to see where it all goes. Oh, and Matt's star for you, of course, for some really horrifying descriptions. The bodies, super horrifying. The whole egg sac thing, really like just like that slow burn tense horror of like there's something there, something's going to happen, but I'm not gonna spring it on you just yet. Like I'm just gonna give hints. I'm just gonna drop like those lower bits. And I thought that was really, really cool. And also the introduction of like the breathing and the hunter, and like this thing is stalking you and is going to attack, but it's not there yet. It's not there yet. I thought that was really well done.
I'm happy to go next. Yeah, stars all around. This is a really fun session. I agree with what Jazy said. This is a much more brooding and less action-packed session than the last time, and I thought that was good. I really feel like there's like kind of an increasing sense of dread that's coming through here. I think this one kind of brought out the whole like lurking horror aspect of the game, and big star to Mads for bringing that to the fore. The feel I'm getting is like 50% Alien, 50% Event Horizon, with a little bit of like Videodrome from the like the machines that are like writhing and pulsing. Yeah, super creepy, super creepy. James, giant star to you for embracing and yeah, for like embracing like the weirdness and the darkness. And yeah, I think you won. You fulfilled your character's drive. Your character's drive was tap in and connect with the universal consciousness beyond the darkness. And I think you did that.
Beyond the darkness, though? I don't know.
Anyway, I just thought that was cool. That was like, that was as horrifying it was. I think that was, I agree. I think that was Drom's good ending. Comment beats it in at the Lavasti countryside.
Oh, now I got to read up on the Lavasti countryside from
it's a
Gold
drive
Core.
It's just a drive from Trophy
Oh
Gold.
no, yeah. I know, but
okay.
I mean,
What is that? I don't know. Also want to echo what Jazy said for Dom. Yeah, Quixote just like just like lunging ahead, like your character's namesake. You're like doing the trappings of being a hero without actually being heroic. I love that. That's just fantastic. Um, just all all action, little thought. I love that. This seems to be really really emblematic of the character. Jazzy, huge star to you for just like something like bringing out Somni's personality of just kind of being like perpetually scared of everything. Um, and I'm really liking that interplay that you're doing with my character. And yeah, and I guess this is a wish. I guess this is a wish for next time. Yeah, I want to I want to play up that. I want to my wish for my own character next time is I want to do more to like sort of like see what Paul's side of this relationship is. Um, and a bigger wish and an overall wish for next time is yeah, I would like to see more inter-character moments. Maybe because we're kind of like all each in the maze we kind of all split up. I'd like to see us come back together and you know do things more as a group and including whatever. And obviously I think we're gonna have to like pick up another. We're gonna have to pick up someone else for James to play now that Drom is out of the picture. So we'll need to pick up a new character. And I'm really interested to see how how we're going to introduce this new character and who they're going to be and how this changes the dynamic.
I guess I can go next. I'm going to echo a lot of what both Mike and Jolly said. Starts with a down, starts to ads for building up the Juliet throughout the whole session and not just like flinging us into immediate danger. There was danger, particularly for Quixote with the whole walls coming to crash them. But I do very much did enjoy that and how it can really show that Quixote just like running into like danger by themselves without anyone else. It's not going to go as smoothly as they thought it would. But I did very much like enjoy that whole like building up to the whole like hunter thing, which is a chance that we might just decide to skip over the beginning of next session, but we'll see how it goes. Starts to James and like just how they play the Drom all the way up to the very end. How they technically succeeded in their drive, and just like how creepy they were about it. And like just completely accepted it. There was no fight back, just here is the darkness. I like the darkness. Come and get me. Starts again to also Paul and Somni, and like I really enjoy like, the relationship that's building between the two, and like to see like how it develops further on. So I guess the wishes in that sense, like you have said, I find more inter character moments. I say as I immediately run after the beginning of the maze, and I think like it may be good that at some point in the next session, maybe we just like a bit of downtime, like maybe just like a little like camp scene where you just like anchor down and just spend some time together instead of just marching on ahead towards a goal. Looking forward to seeing the next character that James brings to the table. And yeah, I think that would be it.
James, do you want to go or you want me to?
No, I don't mind going last. It's fine.
Okay. I have to say, I love Jazy playing against type with Somni because even though she's just so timid and just so fearful, like you still see her trying her best to contribute and help, which is amazing and adorable. But yeah, I mean like how ironic that she's latched onto the android. Oh God, for caretaking. Oh my God, that's going to be interesting. And Mike, I really enjoy how you're playing Pole. I mean, like, he is truly the straight man of the group, like, just trying to keep things together and be reasonable and rational about it, but also maybe trying to hide, like, what his end goal is. We'll see. I mean, yeah. I mean, like, your drive sounds benevolent, but I mean, like, also, too, I mean, like, the way you're playing, it's like there can be something sinister behind those very normal looking eyes. Who knows? I think it's great. And Dom, I know we haven't played together very, very often, but for the characters that I've seen you play, I find it interesting that you get the characters being the spirit of what they are, and yet they are tragic in that they are maybe missing the mark. Like what they think they're doing versus what they are actually doing, which I think is great. So kudos to you for giving us, like, such a oh man, you're so sad, But I mean, like, you think you're doing your best, and kudos to that for sure. So yeah, I mean, like, I want to see how Quixote survives. We'll see. I mean, like, hopefully he'll make it back. Oh, excuse me, they'll make it back to their companions and be able to really like, show what they're worth, I guess, to themselves as well as to the others. And then, oh, James, we should have known, because you always seem to play the weird wackadoodle characters, but I mean, however you go out having lots and lots of fun with it. And that's what I love about you and your role playing, because no matter how the characters go out, they're like always having the immense amount of fun out of like, soaking it for what it's worth. I mean, in X Capes, in Trophy Dark Gold, whatever we're playing right now, I have no idea. And Merkborg. Sorry, I know, Dom, I'm pronouncing it wrong. Sorry. But anyway, yeah. I mean, like, very consistent role playing and always fun to watch. So I appreciate that about you, and hopefully we'll see just as an amusing character like when you bring somebody new in for next time. If you want to talk about that offline, about like how you want to bring in a character, I mean, it could be another survivor stumbling upon your group, in the dark, which is perfectly reasonable. Or if you think that, you want to bring them in a different way, that's fine too. Okay.
My wish is I want to be in the eggs. Whether it actually happens or not, but that's what I'd like to do. I'd like to hatch out of one of the eggs.
Oh, a wish. Oh man,
I'd be just as happy just being randomly lost in the labyrinth and running into people. But
oh
is that...
oh my god. Oh, so many good suggestions in the chat too. Oh goodness. All right, I'm done. I mean, again, continuing onward with such great characters, and like to try to give you as many great moments as was brought in today. Holy cow. Oh.
I have the same stars as everyone else, but I have an additional one, which is for Mads' commitment to the vibe of the incursion, like of really like pushing it, like, because it's super atmospheric. And it like, I know you mostly do Trophy Dark, but it really has that like space horror ambience and the rules make it something a bit different. So other than me accidentally playing Trophy Dark and winning the game, it feels like it goes both ways, and it has like a strong atmosphere, and there's lots of like more Trophy Gold-esque options available, which people are really using to best advantage. So that's a star for everyone, just resourcefulness as well as really fleshing out your characters and their affect and their kind of mannerisms. They're very strong and distinct now. And I was kind of being flippant with the thing about the eggs, but at the same time, I will think of something interesting. But I'm going to choose something against type of someone who's of Drom type, which is someone very scared and who doesn't know what's going on and is, so I'll do the opposite basically.
Can't wait to see it. Oh my gosh. Incredible. So I just want to remind everybody that, well, not Drom, because Drom's out of the picture, unfortunately. Damn. Across the three of you left, you have 3 hunt tokens. So conceivably, you could resolve the set next time, and then have that downtime, like the slight downtime. It's like, we can't call it like that true downtime, but some downtime that you'd like, if you want to see character interaction. Or we could go into just like, full on, maybe seeing some danger next time, and then you can see if you want to just, resolve. But just keep in mind that there are roles that could possibly take away all of your tokens. So yeah, decide what you'd like to do for next time. This was a great session. Thank you all so much. I had fun. I mean, I had fun watching you as well, and I hope you enjoyed yourselves as much as it went. Holy cow! So let's have more of this for next time, and I will see you in a week. Happy gaming, all right? Everybody just like enjoy like what you're doing, and then we'll see you for next Saturday.
Thanks,
Bye.
everyone. This was a blast.
Thank
Bye.
you.